Google is pausing investment in Allo. If you've been using Google's messaging app, Allo, it's probably a good time to start thinking about switching to something else. Specifically, the new head of the communications group at Google, Anil Sabharwal, has made the decision to pause investment in Allo and move the team over to focus on Android messages. As we explain in our exclusive feature, the move is necessary because Google is going all in on Rich Communication Services, or RCS. Exclusive, chat is Google's next big fix for Android's messaging mess. A top-tier Android phone can cost upwards of $1,000, and for that money, you'll get some amazing features. Google has spent nearly a decade trying and failing to fix it with an ever-rotating cast of poorly supported apps. It's going to be called Chat, and it's based on a standard called the Universal Profile for Rich Communication Services. YouTube takes heat for advertising branded content on channels promoting pedophilia, Nazis, and extremist propaganda. More than 300 companies and organizations may have received a little more for their YouTube advertising buck than they'd bargained for, according to a CNN scoop. The bottom line, it's not the first time YouTube has drawn fire for failing to protect advertisers from this sort of content. Earlier this year, YouTube enacted a plan to prevent this sort of thing from happening by limiting which channels can generate revenue from advertisements, part of a broader effort to prevent potentially inappropriate videos from monetizing. A YouTube spokesperson told CNN, "We have partnered with our advertisers to make significant changes to how we approach monetization on YouTube with stricter policies, better controls and greater transparency. Don't just stirkle. Although I do my best to minimize the trash produced by my lifestyle, one I can't really control, at least without carrying a spoon on my person at all times, is the necessity of using a disposable stick to stir my coffee. That could all change with the Stirkle, a little platform that spins your drink around to mix it. Instead of reaching for a stick and stirring vigorously for 10 or 15 seconds, you could instead place your cup in the Stirkle, which would presumably be built into the fixins table at your coffee shop. Train like an astronaut with this NASA-approved mobile app. Few of us will ever get to step foot on a space shuttle, but that doesn't mean we're incapable of training like those who do. Space Nation Navigator is a mobile app that trains aspiring astronauts, or those wanting to train like them, in 3 core areas: body, mind, and social. Along the way, you'll earn badges and achievements to become eligible for prizes, such as 4 free tickets to Iceland, including accommodations, to tour some of Iceland's most moon-like landscapes, and train in the same remote areas as the Apollo astronauts. Technique to beam HD video with 99% less power could sharpen the eyes of smart homes. Everyone seems to be insisting on installing cameras all over their homes these days, which seems incongruous with the ongoing privacy crisis, but that's a post for another time. Today, we're talking about enabling those cameras to send high-definition video signals wirelessly without killing their little batteries. Cameras found in smart homes or wearables need to transmit HD video, but it takes a lot of power to process that video and then transmit the encoded data over Wi-Fi. Fortnite's 50v50 mode is teaching players how to be less selfish. Epic Games' Fortnite Battle Royale reintroduced its much-anticipated 50v50 game mode today, a new and improved version of the limited-time massive group combat game type that pits 50 real human players against 50 opponents in a battle to see which team is left standing when the dust clears. In fact, in 50v50, players seem to go out of their way to assist strangers, and with a borderline self-sacrificial altruism. More recently, Epic had 3 secret dance floors on its map this month, so players could throw down their best moves for one another, even when the people you run into there are ostensibly your enemies. Rumor: 2018 iPhone could cost as little as $550. If you're in the market for a new iPhone, but the $999 price tag on the iPhone X is a little too rich for your blood, a new rumor suggests Apple may be making a new phone with you in mind. The latter could be priced from $550 to $650, with the former being up to $100 more. The OnePlus 5 was one of our favorite phones from last year, and the essential phone dropped in price a few months ago. You can now get both for about $500. The making of a hardware founder. Working in tech, it's hard to avoid the many stories and congratulatory tweets about the latest company to close a funding round, and little wonder. How does one decide to make the leap in the first place? SM laughs. Nubia's Red Magic smartphone is designed for gaming, down to the glowing LEDs on the back. The Red Magic is the new phone from Nubia, and it's built for gaming. And rounding things out on the hardware side of things is an impressively large 3800 mAh battery, which should help with power-hungry games. And even outside of China, the successful mobile ports of games like PUBG and Fortnite is starting to change the conversation about what phone games can accomplish. In honor of Avengers: Infinity War, Build-A-Bear is releasing a series of cursed murder bears. Today's sacrifice comes to us via Build-A-Bear, which has announced a new series of Marvel-themed nightmares. Teenage Groot Bear features the curious combination of a Groot body, a bear's face, and a man's eyes. This cuddly cursed image, which definitely does not look like Groot peeled off a bear's skin to wear as a soothing puts the lotion on its skin face mask, is available for $28. Grasshopper is an app for learning JavaScript through mini-games. Google's in-house incubator Area 120 just released an app called Grasshopper, which teaches you how to code JavaScript through a series of fun mini-games, as reported by 9to5 Google. The goal, according to the coders who worked on the app, is to make coding feel fun and approachable as it increasingly is becoming a necessary skill. The further along you get, the more complicated the puzzles become. Netflix has reportedly considered buying theaters to screen its movies. Netflix is reportedly considering a more drastic plan to get its movies on the big screen, buying theaters. A source at Variety claims that Netflix isn't interested in Landmark specifically, but has considered acquiring theatrical space. Last year, Cannes artistic director Thierry Frémaux implemented a rule that required all films to be screened in French theaters in order to be eligible for the Palme d'Or award, which he had allowed Netflix to bypass at the time due to strict media regulations in France. LinkedIn's autofill plugin could leak user data, secret fix failed. Facebook isn't the only one in the hot seat over data privacy. A flaw in LinkedIn's autofill plugin that websites use to let you quickly complete forms could have allowed hackers to steal your full name, phone number, email address, zip code, company and job title. Malicious sites have been able to invisibly render the plugin on their entire page, so if users who are logged into LinkedIn click anywhere, they'd effectively be hitting a hidden autofill with LinkedIn button and giving up their data. Square acquires corporate catering startup Zesty. Square has acquired elements of corporate catering startup Zesty. Square, which already owns on-demand food delivery service Caviar, plans to use Zesty's assets to strengthen Caviar's corporate ordering business, Caviar for Teams. Expanding our corporate catering product with Zesty enables us to offer our restaurant partners another way to boost sales through higher margin, large-format catering orders, said Rajaram, Caviar led at Square. Announcing how startups can exhibit for free at Disrupt SF with top picks. TechCrunch's top goal at Disrupt SF is to help early-stage founders get lots of attention, which is why every year we introduce more and better ways to make that happen. The editors will pick 5 TC Top Pick startups for each category, and they get the exhibition space with special TC Top Pick signage, 3 free founder passes plus a 3-minute interview on our showcase stage. As one of the big investor questions a couple of years ago, and venture investment in the sector doubled last year, reaching $12 billion, according to KPMG. Do you need a blockchain? More posts by this contributor. Is technology contributing to increased inequality? Cash is no longer king. Blockchain technology is set to have a profound impact on a wide variety of industries, ranging from capital markets to the music business. If we look at it, blockchain in its simplest form is an alternative to the traditional database. Centrify gives states a deal on identity management software to secure midterm elections. Election systems from the very real threat of targeted cyber attacks. States might need to reframe their security practices to look more like they would in a tightly controlled corporate environment. To that end, Centrify, an enterprise cloud-based identity management company, is extending its security offerings to help states cover their bases as part of a Secure the Vote initiative. To coordinate with states, Centrify is working with the Department of Homeland Security on the budget and procurement processes as states begin to work more closely with the agency on the challenge of election security. Russia's game of Telegram Whack-A-Mole grows to 19 blocked IPs, hitting Twitch, Spotify and more. As the messaging app Telegram continues to try to evade Russian authorities by switching up its IP addresses, Russia's regulator Roskomnadzor has continued its game of Whack-A-Mole to try to lock it down by knocking out complete swathes of IP address. As a result, there have been a number of high-profile services also knocked off it in the crossfire, with people in Russia reporting dozens of sites affected including Twitch, Slack, SoundCloud, Viber, Spotify, FIFA, Nintendo, as well as Amazon and Google. As we reported earlier this week, a similar, but far smaller, instance happened in the case of Zello, which had also devised a technique to hop around IP addresses when its own IP addresses were shut down by Russian regulators. Cambridge Analytica was reportedly exploring an ICO. In the most 2018 thing of the year so far, Reuters cryptocurrency Cambridge Analytica plan to issue digital currency. Sources in the New York Times are both reporting that Cambridge Analytica was talking to cryptocurrency experts in preparation for the launch of its own initial coin offering. Of course, things may have gotten a bit off track when the company was revealed to have obtained the data of as many as 87 million Facebook users. Prior to the Facebook controversy, we were developing a suite of technologies to help individuals reclaim their personal data from corporate entities and to have full transparency and control over how their personal data are used, a spokesperson said.